Jess, it has been so long since I've seen you. Hi, Jess. Oh, thanks for that. It's your name, not that. Hello, everybody. I'm thrilled. Beautiful Sonia has joined us. Good morning, Sonia. Happy New Year to you, my darling.
Happy New Year. I'm pretty fantastic. How are you?
Oh, well, not, yeah, I need to be more fantastic. You look at you with the green. See, every redhead should wear green forever. Magnificent. Wonderful to see you. Beautiful Nora's joined us. Wonderful Susan has joined us from the middle of the night. Our other Susan has joined us from the middle of the night. We can't have enough Susans on this call. Beautiful Nora's with us. Fantastic. And how famous is Damien once more. Damien, how famous are you, Damien? You go online and all these people, I go, it's Damien.
You're far too kind. I feel like I'm not making many splashes.
Oh, I think, look, every time I go on LinkedIn, I don't want to be sort of a weird stalker of you, but every time I go on LinkedIn, there's Damon with his handsomeness going. So you are just fantastic. You keep going fantastically. Beautiful. Nor's in. The Dougster's in. Jess has joined us. Oh, looking glamorously. That was like a shot there. That was like a 19th century shot. Jess, you were looking off into the sun and it was on your face. That was beautiful. Mary's joined us. The legend that is Max has joined us. Max, you are legendary. Good morning, superstar.
Good morning.
It is terrific to see you. The Kyles is in the house. Gay is in the house. The People's Republic of Western Australia has joined us through Ambassador Emma. Good morning, darling. One and beautiful Maeve is back with us, and Gay is back with us. So, colleagues, let's go for it. This is a big day for me. Most of you know I've been working on an Uberification. This is my final read and draft today. So the 29 minutes is going to matter for me. Let's make this matter. Let's do it. Let's go for it, team. And we've got beautiful Sonia joining us. So Sonia, give us hell, girlfriend. 29 minutes and we'll get back together as a family. See you soon. Go for it, Jess. Come on, girlfriend. Come on. last minute, colleagues. And colleagues, we are done. Hello, welcome back to the world. And should we commence with the legend that is Doug, who has given me so much homework to do on the weekend? Good morning, Doug. What were you writing during that intense period, sir? Sound, Dougster.
Yeah, I was actually going through my EndNote library because I transferred it across from Zotero and it didn't transfer across my PDF files. So now I'm having to, well, then I transferred my PDF files across and now I'm just catching up. So that'll take a couple of days and a weekend, I think.
I was going to say that'll save you a lot of time in the long term, though,
Yeah.
Dougster.
So I'm doing it now. I'm getting that very sore and tired, but I'm doing it.
I know, Doug. So look, it's great. And you saw Kylie nodding. Jamie's been doing the same thing for his dissertation as well. So I'm aware it's hellish, but well done you. And it will save. Look at Kylie's face. We'll go straight to Kylie. So Kylie's going like sort of doing Yoda nodding. It's like, yes, young Sky.
EndNote. It's any of those systems are fabulous, but they are mind-numbingly dull. But
Yeah,
they are
I thought
helpful.
first
Very
week,
helpful, Doug.
get it done.
Yeah. Just keep in mind, and this is again Tara's great thing of don't let your PhD take too long, because I think I've gone through 2 iterations of EndNote, and if you use the old one, and it just buggers. I was going to say something else, but can fudge all of your things if you're using the older one. So yeah, but it's great.
Good on you, Carls. Now, Carls, I'm desperately fascinated with what you're working on at the moment. So where are we up to, Carls? I am worried. Where are we up to?
Writing.
I know.
I in my last year, so I am now writing and adding in bits that I did before and my notes, and yeah, so I'm just updating a bit of my methodology again, just beefing up some of my data collection and all the other things that I've put in, and done a bit of an analysis words over the Christmas period. So it's that
Now,
fun part.
now, Kyles, you're our favourite engineer, our favourite physicist. His humanities wife has been nagging him very, very, very harshly in terms of writing around a full-time job and doing 250 words a day. How are you structuring the writing around the full-time job, Kyles?
I do my half hour in the morning, so I give myself at least a little bit every day, and I will try and do some more on the weekend and at night. But if I don't, because of life and for uni and work and all that sort of stuff, I know I've at least got that half hour, and it might be gobbledygook, but it's that first draft, and it'll, as you guys say, it's the worst draft, so it's just getting that stuff down. So that half hour at 5 o'clock, as Jamie has commented, from when stuff I've sent him has been very early in the morning. That's me time. Nobody come near me. No one get out of bed. That's me time.
See, this is crucial. So Kyles uses what I call time orientation, and that works brilliantly. I've been nagging Jamie Quentin to use task orientation. Would you like to speak about your satanic wife, or as I was described in digital office hours, Jamie, bitch Tara?
Oh. Yeah, I'm in a particularly stressful situation at the moment because we are restructuring, and I have being a head of school, there's always minutiae, there's always OPPs, right? Other people's problems, but they are on steroids, and there's probably about 5 times the normal type. And I'm getting, you know, one person thinks they've got an idea that works, so then suddenly I've got 20 people all asking me the same question, and I kind of want to say to the first person, no, that's not happening, right? But I've got 20 more before I get a chance to even react. Now that is a segue to the challenge I've got of having time to commit to things. So I'm spending my life doing stuff I don't want to be spending my time on. And the thing I'm passionate about that I want to spend my time on is something that always gets parked by the wayside. So not only do I have bitch Tara complaining at me going, come on, let's get on with it. I'm doing it myself. And yeah, I'm curious to know what happened in digital office hours. Anyway, so I want to kind of flip it on its head, right? So while Tara's nagging me, she's doing it out of love and she wants me to be successful. It's not anything to do about, you know, the classic joke about the gender thing where the male and the female, and the male says, you know, when a guy says he's going to do something, he'll do it. Don't nag him about it every 6 months. So anyway, I want to flip it on its head and say that a better analogy is one that Tara used to say. There's a couple of vlogs in like vlog 180 or something where she talks about swallowing the elephant. Yeah. And the way to eat the elephant is one bite at a time. So structuring your tasks so that you take bites rather than go, I don't feel like eating an elephant today. I'm just going to park it for now and come back later. Future me's problem. Future me, what does future me want from present me? Future me wants me to have taken some bites out of it to make it smaller. And while you're focused on how big it is and you're not thinking about it, while you are thinking about it, you're less likely to keep eating. Whereas if you just focus on the bite, just keep biting, and eventually it gets smaller.
And the thing is, Jamie, then you can actually feel like you've accomplished, oh, I've done this. Oh, yay, as opposed to, I'm never getting anything done.
You feel guilty, but you feel less guilty.
Yeah. So for Jamie and Kylie and for colleagues, this is really important because we had a lot of students, and I did it myself, have put study around a full-time job. Now, what poor Jamie is doing is working an 18-hour day, and then bitch Tara is saying to him, don't go to bed until you've written 250 words, right? Now, of course, he's exhausted. I'm looking at him, he's like his eyes are in multiple time zones and are going, eat something, 250 words. But the trouble is that's what research looks like around a full-time job. So Kylie and Jamie have got that brilliantly for our colleagues really doing it tough. So look, speaking of future Jess and past Jess and present Jess. So present Jess, what are you gifting your future Jess?
Before I move on to that, I wanted to add something to what Jamie was talking about there, just something that I and many people find useful too, is the idea of decision-making fatigue that usually kicks in about 2 o'clock. And there's some great research around this, that the things that it's about prioritizing what's important over what's urgent. And that has to be done first thing in the morning. So if there's something that you're really passionate about, like your project, go, well, guess what? That gets the first hour of my day. I'm going to write my 250 words before I go to work, because that's when we're freshest and that's when we're more likely to commit. And the research around it is people are more motivated and just seem to find more balance when they flip it, whereas we tend to do, well, I'll do all these urgent things first and then I'll get to work on what I want. And that usually doesn't happen. We do the important stuff first, because those emails are going to get answered. Those naggy people with all their problems, you're going to get to them. Like they're going to keep nagging if you don't. So that's sort of how I approach it with work and study as well.
Exactly, Jess. And my old line is always pay yourself first. I would have done nothing if you don't pay yourself first, right? So, Jess, when you were paying yourself first, considering your current situation, what were you writing on?
So I sent my email to the dean first.
Yes.
I could tick that off.
Yeah.
And then I kept working on the research paper I was working on in December. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'll keep doing that now because I'm still going to publish this no matter what happens with my supervisor or whatever. I'll still do that.
I think that's brilliant. Get your ducks walking, get them talking, get them quacking.
Yeah. Oh, and I replied to my supervisor email saying that I'm leaving and my CDU email won't be available after the 14th. So I had 2 days to reply. I replied to that email in that space too.
Pay yourself first, do the difficult stuff
Yeah.
first.
I was avoiding that one, Tara. It's like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. And look, Jess, it shows you how brilliant you are. In my sort of dean job, I pay myself first and do my research first, but I always answer the difficult emails first. So when I get to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, the first hour is the yucky hour, right? Where it's like, here is a dreadful email that I'm having to write to another human, and I do it first so I don't worry about it till 2 p.m. So you got it.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
You got it, mate. And look, let's go to the light of our lives, the wonderful Sonia, our favourite human. Now, Son, how are you going? Obviously, we're doing a PPP. We're going for a PPP, and we're front loading that. So, how's it going, Son?
Well, I've got my list, and I've just started. I think Kylie, you said gobbledygook, and I feel like that's the space I'm in. So I developed a philosophy from the ground, as you know, on the street, and now I'm trying to make sense of everything I've taught for the last half a decade with students and senior nurses, and getting that, you know, in this, I suppose, as an article. But I'm trying to catch up with myself because I've got an opportunity to teach this as well and put it in curricula in unis,
Right.
in a specific uni at the moment. So I feel like I would like to publish on it before, you know, it heads into that space. So yeah. So my future self, I'm kind of like, hold on. I don't want to hold on because I want to write this up. So I'm in the gobbledygook stage where I'm just trying to get down where it began, what I did, what it means, and go from there.
I think that's brilliant. And I'll go straight to Damien, because Damien is our most productive member of Right Club. So Damien, your great advice to Son would be exactly that. Just get it down and then draft it up from there. I mean, Son is such an inspiration, but Damien, is that how you're writing at your level of productivity at the moment?
Yes, yeah. So and I'm about to go back to work after having a scholarship for a year, which I've never had. I worked full time through all my degrees and for the first 2 years of this. And so my goal is to have the whole first draft done before I have to start working again, so that it's still hard work, it's still editing, and it's going to take a lot of work. But the ideation I find most difficult. It's what I do first in the morning. It's how I pay myself first. And certainly that's my goal now. Like, I'm finishing chapter 6. I just spent today writing textual analysis that's going to help synthesize the analysis of policy and interview responses to kind of tie it all together. And hopefully by this time next week, this chapter will be done. I'll be writing my conclusion, and there will be a whole draft to take to DTR that will need a lot of work. In good news on productivity, my MIA piece came back, recommended for publication with minor revisions. So thanks to everyone who listened to me as I wrote that. So I'm speaking to my co-author this afternoon, and we'll do that over the weekend and get it done.
Oh, mate, that's amazing. And that was written in Right Club, Sonia. So it is a space. What Damien and I tend to do is we write the bespoke pieces during Right Club that we don't write outside of it. So it's a real productivity driver, Damien. That's congratulations, brother.
Cheers, thanks.
Oh, mate, that's fantastic. And look, we'll go to the People's Republic of Western Australia. Emma, very good early morning to you. What were you writing on, my darling?
People may know I'm doing a half-time PhD and I work half-time at CDU, but I'm also working on a book. And I've done the editing of all the contributors chapters over Christmas. And now the draft for my own first chapter is due on Monday. So I'm writing it. And the bit that I was writing now, as I write, I find that I think as I write, that the thoughts seem to come through my fingers. And I'm writing about what it's like to do a particular type of fairly complicated interviewing at a distance with people in other cultures and across other languages via Zoom or Teams. And the paragraph that I was finishing up with, as you said, this is it, was me reflecting on what did I get that I never realized was I was traveling to these interviews before. What was I picking up? And I was forcing myself to go back and think, well, in Somaliland, I worked out how women and men versus women talk. And I knew that by the time I sat down with a woman or a man. In Sierra Leone, I was doing this and all these things that when I get onto Zoom and I'm talking cold to somebody, I don't have. So that's what I was doing, was remembering through my fingers.
Now, Emma, so much to say about that. The first thing is I always beg people when they're doing interviews, oral history or more semi-structured interviews, take very careful notes about the context around the interviews. It's everything. That's methodology. So you've captured that beautifully. And also, I'm going to listen to you over and over again when I watch this video about talking about the mechanical nature of writing, that actually sitting at a keyboard, there is a mechanical component to the writing process that people don't talk about. I know Benny and Bjorn, I know Kylie will be surprised at this. Benny and Bjorn, my models of life and writing and creativity from ABBA, obviously, they argued that unless they're sitting down at a piano, the song won't come. If they're sitting at a piano, they've got a really good chance of writing Dancing Queen. If they're drinking Zambuca, Black Zambuca, love me some Black Zambuca, if they're drinking Black Zambuca, Dancing Queen is not going to come. So it's a physicality of checking yourself into the writing process, Emma, that you just captured brilliantly there. Unbelievable. Oh, thanks for that.
I just hope the chapter's ready for Monday, but we have promised ourselves that no matter what state our chapters are in, we will give it to each other and just be kind. So hope ever.
I think that's a great strategy too. Emma has changed our universe today. You're an absolute rock star, mate. Shall we go to the legend that is Max? Good morning, Max. Tell us something fabulous, Max.
Hi. I just wanted to say that so English isn't my first language, so it's a bit more difficult to write. So getting up in the morning and writing 200 words is, I think, more important. It has been very important because I can be alone and I feel a lot less anxious when I write. I also think getting away those 200 words is very important because when I do other work, it often turns out that at the end of the day, I'm too tired to write 200 more words. So it's much better to do worse on the other things than not write those 200 words in the end. Yeah. I've just been writing. So I was watching videos on publishing that you made, Tara, and I was so interested and excited that there were different publication routes. I thought it was just journal articles, and that's often what happens in my country actually, but turns out it doesn't, there's a lot more ways to do that. And I'm just about to start my research master's, but I wanted to get into the habit of sending out finished writing pieces. It doesn't have to be long, but I think the habit of finishing a piece and sending it out, even if it's bad, is a good habit to have later down the road, because the difficulty of writing is finishing, in my opinion. So I've been writing a piece I've been wanting to send out to the Times Higher Education. They have an international small page for they have a small page for international students, and I was going to record about how actually I was watching videos and podcasts and audiobooks online on the PhD, and how it's helping me widen my views on international scholarship and helping me prepare for my PhD, because so much of what I can find in my country is often outdated, because most of my professors, bless them, had their PhDs like 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah, and it's become very different from then. I also think that the breadth of disciplines and perspectives on research and like recent issues on research are very important to also be aware of. So I was writing down how and suggesting how I think it's even if I have a subpar supervisor in my master's, I can have like virtual 24/7 online, I can return to any time, wonderful resources and supervisors on my research. Yeah.
Right. So how brilliant is that? Look at Doug's face. I mean, Max, you are just brilliant. You are just brilliant. And Max, let me just quietly say something to you. I have some pretty good relationships with crew on the Times Higher. So when you send that piece off, oh, darling, I've written probably 300 pieces of journalism for them. I was a weekly columnist. So if you can find the email address and find the human that you're writing to, the editor, do you want to just send that to me first? And when you send the piece off, put me in the CC line and I can tell them who you are.
Thank you so much, Tara. Of course I will.
That's terribly exciting. Well, I've learned so much from you, Max. That's transformative. And I could see wonderful Noor just nodding all the way through. Now, Noor, my darling, what were you writing on for Right Club?
So thank you, Tara. So, yes, so today I'm reading my old book. It's about the livelihood, rural livelihood and resource coping crisis in Indonesia.
Wow.
And then I write about the mind mapping.
Nice.
I would like to try to make a good fundamental base of my thinking. So when I'm doing my COC or I'm doing my field work, it's easy for me for digging dive to find the social fact because I'm using grounded theory.
Yes.
And then a narrative approach. And then that's why I have to make sure that I know the connection, the intertwine among the many concepts that I use in my research, such as livelihood, vulnerability, resilience, gender, intersectionality. I think it's really complicated, interrelated connections. But I think that is my novelty of my research. And then, of course, it's not about the theoretical point of view only, but also how to make it more beneficial for both a country, because my research object, Samabaca community, is so sensitive to the diplomacy relations.
Yes.
Both Indonesian and Australia. So I think I have to be more aware about the output and the outcomes of my research, because this is my masterpiece, my solo masterpiece. So that's why for 25 minutes I'm working at that. And
I say that's brilliant. And you look at watch Kylie's and my face as you're articulating that. No, my darling, you have no problems at all with this research. You articulated that absolutely brilliantly. Okay. So even if you listen to this recording later and write down what you've just said, you've convinced us. Kylie and I were going like, and the problem here is I'm uncertain. No, you're amazing. You are absolutely amazing. You're a blessing to us, my love. Can we go to the legend that is the wonderful Maeve? Now, Maeve, what were you writing on during those 25 minutes?
I was hitting psychogeography. And I just want to throw in, because Doug and I met on Teams yesterday, and Doug said to me a really, really good question, which was, what does it really mean? I'm sorry if it wasn't quite that, Doug. And I said, well, I have actually found out what it really means, because I didn't actually have. So anyhow, the simplified version is, what does a particular geography or place have the person feel or behave, roughly?
Beautiful.
And I think it is finally simplified, because I've sort of rattled on quite a bit about psychogeography, but there is a simple answer in there. And so I wrote definitions of psychogeography and subsets, and I think that will come close to an introduction. Maybe not quite, I think that'll come close to an introduction for the chapter. Not exactly.
Very strong, my darling. And again, that's a great example of scaffolding that we've talked about too, Maeve. So that's absolutely brilliant. Well done, you. Hard writing to do. Hard writing, beautiful, Maeve. And look, we'll go to the other ambassador of the People's Republic of Western Australia. We'll go to Mary. Now, Mary, so where are we on the writing journey for you, my queen? Oh, sound, babe. Oh, yeah, bring your Madonna Vogue down, I think.
Oh, sorry, darling.
Yeah.
I'm about to start on a big writing journey, so I have decided I've done about 20 to 30,000 words of my thesis so far, and I'm going to write the last two big chapters in the next 4 months. actually, the next 3 months, because I've done a big chunk of one of the chapters already in the break. So, and I've decided I will then go back and put the entire thesis together over over May and June, and then present it to my supervisors at the end of June. So just get it done as quick as I can.
Brilliant. Well, so well said. Of course, the Damien model is working well as the Mary model as well. So that's phenomenal, Mary. We can't manage without you. You're legendary. I'll go to the wonderful human I've been talking with so much of this week, Queen Jilly. How are you, darling? So what were you writing on, beautiful girl? Can I demute you? Can I? Yes, you. Can I demute you? Gotcha.
So I was working on the introduction to my thesis. So yeah, just trying to find the right words to present where I'm coming from.
And look, these intros are so hard, as the beautiful Maeve said. They are the hardest thing to write in some ways. And so many people, my darling, write the middle first and then
Oh, yeah.
the beginning and the end.
Yeah, but my supervisors are asking me to articulate an introduction at this point. So yeah.
But it's hard writing. So that's not just on you, my love. That's hard writing, all right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to get round to everybody, but I'll go to beautiful Gay. Gay, how are we going with our soldiers? What's been happening?
I was writing up a soldier who quite obviously had PTSD from being in the Japanese raid on Darwin. And it manifests by him being hospitalized a couple of weeks later after having a self-inflicted gunshot wound in his foot.
Yep.
He was eventually discharged on medical grounds. It was noted in his record that he was anxious about his wound and how it was going to affect the rest of his life. And it also manifested in some minor crimes in his civilian life. It is very obvious that this poor 19-year-old farmhand, who was pulled into the war that he wasn't expecting to go into, had PTSD.
Oh, Gay, this is
This
astonishing.
is something that is not looked at very often. I mean, you're looking more now at PTSD in current military, but it's not mentioned very much in World War II because it was, I mean, shooting yourself in the foot was a serious crime. These people actually put in his record that it wasn't his fault, so he had a good story. Or they were being kind, or they could see that he was overly distressed. But this could be the start of a different kind of research project.
Oh, this is great. And we need to read this, Gay. So you keep writing this because that's crucial. And I tell you what, the Darwin inflection on that is incredibly important. So I look forward to seeing that, my darling one.
He'd only been in Darwin for 14 days before the attack.
Yeah, and look, I understand those first 14 days in Darwin, trust me. So, you know, shooting yourself in the foot, I can certainly understand.
Summer, and then, yeah, poor guy.
You're amazing, Gay. We need to get that published and out. Now, I've missed a couple of people, for which I apologise. The legendary Dina we will finish with, because I'm spending my weekend with Dina, or shall I say I'm spending my weekend with Dina's magnificent thesis. So Dina, our finisher, you look fabulous today, can I say? For someone at the last stage of their PhD, you look gorgeous, like you're about to do a bloody Chanel ad. You're magnificent. So Dina, what are you writing on? What are you doing at the moment, darling?
So I'm just doing the formatting stuff and the bibliography. So hopefully after this, I really have the full draft thesis. I was reflecting on myself when I heard how Damien works, how Emma is work, and I've been regretting how I wasted a lot of my years back. So, but we'll be working hard, hopefully, to submit.
Oh, well, I'm doing draft 10. We've got 9 to go, darling one. But Dina, I'm interested as we finish off today, looking back, hindsight's always 2020. What would you have done differently, Dina?
Like, probably because academia is not my professional work, I used to when I stall, it really reflect my mood. So in my in my result, I put in that I stalled in my findings because it didn't match the model that I used, and then that's where I said that I could push through and force it into that model, but it would not reflect on my integrity. I did not do the research just to do the research, but I wanted to do a research that could be accountable for, because I'm doing it with people's money. I'm sponsored to do this research. So that's why integrity and accountability is important to me. What I would like, because well, it's because at that time my supervisor was affected by cancer, and that's why we didn't have like intense discussion. But if probably I had a better situation, I would have put a lot of your and other people's advice. It's just to write and try to find out and put the mistake, or put the, what do you call it, lack of findings in the research, so it would not stall as long as I did. I felt that I did not have a way out at that time, so that's why it dragged along the way. But I'm glad that I found my way out. So I did what I did, although it took a lot of time to find that way out.
Dina, I think you're going to change lives from what you've just said there. You saw Max was just absolutely hooked into that. You'll transform people's lives, and we're so proud of you, Dina. 9 drafts to go and you're finished. Colleagues, have a lovely week. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all next Friday. You are spectacular humans. See you soon. Good on you, Son. Rock and roll, Son. You're the best. See you, team. Bye-bye.